that being said, taking the time to look at it today, certain things happening moving forward. Found out a little bit earlier today, they pulled transparency, so that's yanked, that's gone. Why they pulled it, whatever. We're technically, now we're on our own. There's no way around it. So that's not for me. Freeze. But okay, so now we got transparency pulled. Hey, remember I told you motherfuckers this ain't the same sec as before. And my Ginsler, he's not like the other motherfuckers. Now we have this event that happened yesterday. Whatever. Remember I told you motherfuckers this ain't the same sec as before. And my Ginsler, he's not like the other motherfuckers.
So now here's where we're at. A lot of people are saying, oh, Lou's saying that once we break 34. No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm waiting till Friday because they chopped us down about $5.
That's what I woke up to this morning. I thought I was having a bad dream, possibly a nightmare, that the SEC had taken down or pulled a transparency proposal. And turns out that is not true. I'm here now on the SEC's website for the proposals, and seems as though we are still good with the transparency ruling, and you can still go on and make a comment. Why this concept is so hard to understand, I don't know. This video won't be for everyone, but if you're a newer investor or thinking about day trading AMC or possibly looking for some risque plays, well then after the intro will be for you. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
shoot the speeder. This is the way.
By the way, Ape Nation, what's going on? It is Thursday, March 31st, 2022. And before we get into the AMC day trading and the transparency being pulled by the SEC, this article is from the New York Post. It's from today. It says, Putin warns Russia will halt gas exports if payments not made in rubles. And I remember it was just a few weeks back that we talked about Joe Biden's speech, how he said they had really put the screws to Vladimir Putin because they had knocked the ruble down like 30% in just a few days. And I remember saying, you know, karma is a bitch, and what comes around goes around. And sure enough, Vladimir Putin is turning the tables on the Western world, especially the United States and the rest of NATO, by saying that you're only going to be able to purchase Russian natural gas in rubles with accounts in Russian banks. It is from these accounts that payments will be made for gas delivered starting from tomorrow, Putin said in televised remarks to Russian officials. If such payments are not made, we will consider this a default on the part of buyers with all the ensuing consequences. Nobody sells us anything for free, and we are not going to do charity either. That is, existing contracts will be dropped, he added. And so, guys, I just want to bring that to your attention. I try to cover a lot of geopolitical issues here, and this directly affects the United States, the petrodollar, and our regular dollar as well. As long as it's not being used as a reserve currency for the trade of commodities, this country is at a tipping point. So anytime something like this pops up, I just want to make you guys aware of it. Not trying to spread FUD or anything like that, but I think you guys should know. Because mainstream's not going to cover this. They don't want to talk about it because they are in an election year. All right. Now, the SEC proposal that supposedly was pulled, I believe that is being confused with the pawn shop NSCC 010 that was rejected just a few days back. I talked to you guys before and said Pantheon had done a video about this. Somehow people don't understand that concept still. I don't know why. I mean, I'm talking about grown men, adults who supposedly have connections on Wall Street can't get this simple information to sink into their brain and be able to repeat back to the audience. So I'm going to take it upon myself to do that. You can still go to the SEC site. The proposal is right here, and you can go and still leave a comment. You have, I think, another 10 or 11 days. Now, turning to the AMC day trading. And just so you know, It's been like rumored that that's a trending thing. It's something that's going to be coming up in April. We'll see a lot of volatility, a lot of people getting in and out of quick positions. I probably won't do it justice. So why don't I just roll the clip?
Now, that being said, what I wanted to talk about strategy in April changing is that I'm starting to see in emails and even in videos in YouTube, there are people now that are starting the process of like, you know, why aren't we day trading this? That momentum is growing, so I wanted to tell you that AMC is going to become more of a volatile play, which is not a bad thing. Actually, that causes movement, which causes us to have more price increase. Because obviously as people sell, they got to find shares, they got to cover, yada, yada, yada. Because right now we're kind of like in a stalemate. There's videos out there with more people calling to day trade this. So understand that's going to cause more movement within retail than the typical holding. Now, I'm not doing that. My shares are parked. But after that video that I saw today, I understand there's a new trend that's happening. And it's also coming from like the original type youth, you know, hey, we got to make a buck. You know, the Reddit crowd. And also whales that are also going to look at this and say, my money's been asleep for X amount of time. I can still buy back in. Let me take the risk and go back and forth. But understand, you're going to start seeing more people like that video today that I saw, and it was a young guy. And he was basically pointing out, like, look, I'm not part of the movement. I'm not part of this ape stuff. I'm not part of anything. I'm here to make money, and this is what I do. And when I saw that, it wasn't just him. I saw the people watching his video, commenting on his video, and I said, oh, this is the next evolution of AMC. So we're entering into that phase. Please understand, after a certain amount of time, all positions change. Right now, we're still the same position. We're still the same play. We're still the same squeeze. We're still everything. And I wanted to stay that way because I want to finish up this play in a certain way. But what I saw today, I'm like, oh yeah, strategies are changing.
Okay, so a few things real quick. First of all, strategies changing are fine, but you don't have to follow along with everyone else. You don't have to fall into line or take recommendations from anyone. You do what you want to do with your money. But in that last little video clip, he mentioned a few specific words like make a buck, original Reddit youth and whales, new trends, and take the risk. All words you do not want to be associated with if you are a new green investor, a younger guy, or someone who doesn't have a lot of experience. You do not want to try to be day trading AMC or GME right now, especially with how heavily manipulated the stock is, especially if you aren't on a lit exchange. If you're going through a broker who uses payment for order flow, I think that it's about 90% of day traders are not profitable and actually lose money. Of course, I never tell you guys what to do with your money, but as far as that becoming popular in the next 30 days or over the month of April, it certainly could, but you really have to be careful about getting in and out quickly because you don't want to get left holding the bag. Or on the other hand, if it starts to rip, you don't want to not be able to buy back in like some people that we know. Now, I hope going forward, you guys believe when we tell you that Gary Gensler, the DOJ, the SEC, that they don't give a shit about retail. I know a lot of you put your hopes and a lot of faith into Gary Gensler because you had been repeatedly told for months on end.
Remember I told you motherfuckers, this ain't the same sec as before. And Mike Gensler, he's not like the other motherfuckers.
That Gary Gensler was a friend of retail. He was going to make some stark changes and we were going to see transparency, yada, yada, the whole nine. You guys know the story. But I hope you guys understand now that that is not necessarily the case. And as most of us know, we have been on our own for a long time and we're doing just fine. We don't need Gary Gensler. I never bought this stock because of Gary Gensler. I bought it because I like the stock. Credit though where credit is due on Lou. He did say one specific thing, and I want you guys to hone in on this and remember this going forward. What he says, just this one clip.
AMC will remain the way it is going forward. I think we're going to have our climb, like we're going to return to what happened yesterday. I think the normal strategy of holding going forward, I've told everybody that I talk to, I'm holding. This is what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything yet. I need to see how we evolve.
That's the key point to take away from the whole night of last night, all Lou's videos. He is still holding. He is not getting involved with that, and that's all that matters. that means none of you guys will be dragged into it and possibly get put out in a bad spot. So I gotta give Luke credit where credit is due. And at the same time, I'm gonna let you guys go. I will try to be around for a live stream tonight. I apologize about last night not making the regular scheduled broadcast time. So I'm going to try to get some things done in between now and then. Hopefully we'll go on tonight. As always, guys, thank you for all my viewers, my likers, my commenters, my new subscribers, my OGs. I appreciate each and every one of you. We are here to break the wheel. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.